Pew pew!
Well, hello everybody, I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular, and I tell you what, sometimes you go to coin shops and you find some crazy cool stuff. Stay with me as I talk about some of this craziness I have right here on my table. I will get to these right here in just a moment, but I do want to show you this other thing that I haven't shown off yet on the channel. This is a really cool round from the Germanium Mint. Very expensive. I think this thing was like $50, $60 somewhere. It might be in the middle of that, but very expensive for a 1 ounce silver piece. I just had to have one. It's one of those things where it's like, man, I know I'm overpaying for this thing, but sometimes, boys will be boys and girls will be girls. We got to have the things we like, ladies with your Coach purses, you know what I mean? We got to have that weird stuff. Anyways, Knights of the Past 2021, and I'm going to take it out of this. It actually comes with the whole card, which is kind of a nice little shelf piece, and you can see the little certificate of authenticity that kind of comes into the back right there. Let's take that out. I don't know if I've even looked at that yet. Let's slide that out. Then I'm going to get to this other craziness on the table here. This is a cool piece. Look at that. It even comes with, I mean, you're really getting your money's worth, it seems like. It even has this nice little hologram thing, and it's a nice piece. Some history on it right here. I don't got time for all that business right here on this video. 15,000 pieces total is the issue limit right there. So it's kind of cool. I didn't even notice that it had the hologram on it. They never took that thing out. It's kind of crazy. The more you know. So I'm going to try to slide this in there real quick without it all ripping and breaking on me. But it's got some nice artwork on there. It's kind of like a 3D printed little scene with the knights from the Germanium Mint. And there you go. Bank Centrale ta Malta, or the Central Bank of Malta. So there you go. It's got some more 3D art on it. Nice little presentation, right? So I paid the extra amount for the fact that it looks really good on the shelf. Really nice, actually. So there it is. Hopefully we can try to get the light on it more. Hopefully you can see that right there. It's the knight with his sword up, kind of like saying, charge, like we're going forward there, knights. We're doing this. This is happening. And there you go with the other side. 2021 little Knights of Malta piece. It's pretty nice. Like I said, great shelf piece. And that's what it's going to be for me, just a piece that sits on the shelf, hopefully, and looks good for at least another day or two, right? That's about it. I like it. Okay, next, let's keep on moving, because I have some other things on this table that are different, right? Found at a coin shop. We'll do this crazy one last because I want to talk about it for a little while because I thought that was so neat. So stand by on that. If this video self-destructs, it's probably because this right here was in there and YouTube doesn't want me to put that in the video. But I'm going to be totally safe with that thing. This right here was really cool. A little Scottsdale 10-ounce bar, just like a loaf bar, kind of a poured piece. And I love Scottsdale stuff. I think it's a nice premium type of bar that they produce. Scottsdale is just wonderful. So nice 10-ounce piece. It feels good in my hand. There's it is right there, just rolling around. I thought it was interesting, and I showed the wife a piece that I poured, and this is a 8.7 ounce, and the size difference is just, it's very interesting how big of a difference it is, size. And I put them up next to each other, and I said, hey, which one do you think is actually, weighs more? And she actually figured it out. She figured this one right here did. So kind of cool, right? One's just so thin, one's very thick. But anyways, so yeah, I got this nice piece right here. Silver's been coming down, and I paid a pretty good price. I think I paid $250 for this piece right here. So happy to have that. And right here, this is a nice piece. For those who collect Morgan dollars, you might like this piece. This is an 1884 Carson City Mint State 63, graded by NGC. I paid $350 for this one. See the price right there? Talked them down a little bit, no big deal. But yeah, pretty nice cartwheel on her. And the back, she does have a little obverse scratch that I noticed. Noticed this when I bought it, but it's not so crazy. Right there, you can probably see that little tiny scratch. It's just a surface. Like, it's not a big deal. It's not too deep into the coin, but it's something I definitely noticed. And, you know, I think NGC probably did notice it too, but the overall coin itself is just really, really wonderful. Some bag marks here and there, you know what I mean, to the face and everything, but that's all very typical with the Morgan dollars. So I think NGC just kind of overlooked that little hairline, or maybe they dinked it a little bit. Maybe they, you know, could have gave it a 64, but that little scratch right there brought it down to a 63. Who knows what they were thinking, but I think it's actually beyond a 63. It looks really, really spectacular in my opinion. So I've cleaned up the little slab a little bit because it had some sticker residue and junk on the back. So I wish we would stop putting stickers on there. But hey, there's a sticker on the front too. But I'll probably keep that price tag on there, to be honest with you, and just see if this kind of like evolves over time, the price. But anyways, yeah, that was a cool pickup. Happy to have the Carson Cities. 2022, we're going to have more Morgan dollars come out from the United States Mint. They've already announced that they're doing more. So it's not going to be just a 100-year anniversary thing. 2022, they're coming out with more. So I think that ultimately I was kind of disappointed that they came out with more, but now I'm like, you know what? I think that them bringing interest to the hobby with Morgan dollars, new ones, I think that we're going to see our old ones become more popular and people are going to be more interested in them, which inevitably will raise the price. So I think ultimately it's going to be a good thing for us. I wish it was just a one and done deal, and I wish they would have done things a little differently. I think we're going to get some proof versions of the Morgans now, but it is what it is. Okay, boom, this crazy thing. At a coin shop. This goes back to building a relationship, talking to the owners and just being like, friendly and asking questions and, hey, you know what I'd really, really would be interested in if you had it? One of these. So I, walked into the coin shop and I was just talking about things and I said, I'd be so interested if you ever buy like an older gun, to be able to, get one. I'd like to have like an older style gun. And, they say, hey, hold on a second. Let me show you something that I've had for a long time in the safe. And goes and grabs this thing. And I was like, man, that's kind of cool, He's like, I don't even know if it works. I don't know anything about it. I don't know if it's real. And I said, it's cool for, what do you want for it? And he said, well, $100. And I said, for $100, I'm not going to tell you no. It's a cool little thing here. And I didn't know much about it either, but it feels so heavy. I wish you could feel how heavy this thing is. I mean, this is solid. This is not some kind of like plastic toy. This is a real deal. I did some more research into it, and it is a replica piece from Italy. This is made after like the 1851 Colt ball and cap revolver, and this is the Navy version. So pretty cool little piece here. Even though it's a replica, it will still shoot. It'll still shoot. And it's totally different from guns of today where you just put the bullet in there and pull the trigger and things happen. You had to pack your black powder down in here, and I'll show you how that all works, and cap it off and put your little ball in there and squeeze that all down there and put a little cap here on the back. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what you had to do to load one of these things all that time ago, but I guess technology has really advanced, hasn't it? Anyways, I was looking at the thing and I was like, I'm used to a modern revolver. I'm thinking like, how does the cylinder come out? Like, how does this thing even work? I don't even know much about black powder, to be honest with you, how those revolvers worked. But soon on my own, this is funny. On my own, I'm like looking at this thing. I'm like, this has to do something. And so if you pull this out, I'm going to take it apart right now. You pull this little pin out right here, all the way, just a little pin. Oddly enough, you can just pull this piece right here out. So there goes the barrel. You see that. And hold on, just dropped something. What is that I dropped? Okay, no big deal. And then the cylinder, if I pull actually the hammer back, the cylinder should release itself. 9 times out of 10 when I want it to do it, it will do it. And there you go. It's definitely seen some wear and tear. I mean, It's got some discoloration to it. It's not, you know, a brand new example. Somebody's definitely been playing around with this thing, touching it. I could clean the heck out of this thing and make it just look sparkly new and great, but I almost wonder if I just keep it in the condition it's in as like a little shelf piece. And I could further take this down if I wanted to with the screws, but I don't want to take the handle off and I don't want to dismantle everything else. I just, you know, that's as much as you would take it down if you were trying to clean it up. But man, how cool is that to find that at a coin shop, huh? I just think that's awesome. I learned a little bit about it after buying it. That's sometimes the things we do, right? We buy coins or, you know, pieces of history, let's call it that. And then we go back and we do some research and try to figure things out about it. But that's when I figured out it was a replica piece from Italy. And it actually has all these like little hallmarks right here on the side. I'm trying to zoom in for on that right there. But they all mean something different. And from what I can gather, the AA with a little square around it is actually the year it was created. So again, 1851 is when Colt was kind of producing these right here, these Navy revolvers. But because it's a replica, they remade them. And this right here actually stands for 1975. So 1975 is when this was reproduced. And you think 1975, well, that's not too long ago, but you know, it's a decent distance these days, isn't it? Time's a moving. We forget how time is a moving. And then on the bottom here, on part of the barrel, you can see, hopefully you see that, you can see FAP, which stands for the company Pieta, and I guess that's an Italian company that made this thing. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I guess there's also some proof marks on there too. One of the proof marks stands for Gardone. Yeah, I guess Gardone in Italy for the proof mark. I don't know. You know, that's cool stuff to me, just learning what different things mean just by the little hallmarks. I thought that was awesome. But anyways, I'll show you how you would use it. I got to put it back together. Of course, the cylinder goes in first, snaps back in like so, and then the barrel will kind of go in back together like that, and then the pen. I tell you what, man, this is like the easiest gun to take apart like that. Like you have like a Glock, which I thought was pretty easy. This is way easier than that. And then the pen just will hopefully slide back in. Maybe a little force to get that thing down right there. If I can get it in right, hold up, hold on, stand by. Pen, go in, there it goes. And I don't want to pinch my little fingers. Hold on, a little off-camera action here. Boom, got the pen. Had to use a little elbow grease. But yeah, cool little piece. And so, you know, you can see how that would work. You would just, you know, bada bang, and aim it up right there with the front sight, and boom. But okay, so how would you make this thing work? Because again, you don't use a typical round in there like you would just, you know, use today. It's totally different. So oddly enough, it has this little gizmo right here, and what you would do is you would take your black powder, and which I want to get one of those little black powder little gimmicks, those old antiqued ones. So that might be on the channel later. But anyways, you take some black powder, you put it down into the cylinder here, right here in this spot, while it's in this kind of situation. And then what you would do is you would put like your little grease-filled like little wad right there next to it to hold that black powder in. And then you would take your ball, which is basically today your bullet, and put it down in there, your little lead ball. And then what you do is when you have it around to the right underneath the little this little, I don't know what you call it, a little pump, whatever it is here. When you have that around there, you would just take this. Well, I gotta show you the whole thing, don't I? You take this off, and then you would just push it down in there like that, and it helps squeeze the ball and the wad and the powder all down in there and pack it. And then you just go on to the next one. And then you would keep this right here. You'd keep the hammer back, and then you would go to the next, and you would squeeze that down, and go to the next, squeeze that down, squeeze that down. Isn't that kind of cool? That's a different way of doing things, isn't it? So yeah, the more you know. And then of course you want to leave one empty, because at some point you got to get back to there, and you're going to want to let that hammer go. And if you don't let the hammer go the right way, Alec Baldwin, the gun will go off. So You have to be very careful. If you really wanted to do it right, you just squeeze the trigger and then very gently bring that hammer back. You don't want it to snap, otherwise it will go off. And yeah, gun safety, by the way, you know, I always point this thing in a safe position. I've disassembled this now a time or two, and just once now, just for you all, and I still will point it in a safe direction, in an area that I don't intend to shoot something that I want to kill. So, you know what I mean? Like, this is technically a real gun. I mean, it would definitely fire if I had the powder and the wadding and the lead bullet in there. It would definitely shoot. So, always practice gun safety. I'm a firm believer of that. Even if you know the gun's empty, be safe with it. There's no reason not to be. If you're safe with it, you'll never be wrong. But anyways, yeah, man, I thought that was a special little buy for $100 at a coin shop. So you never know what you're going to find. I think this will be a fun little shelf piece. I don't know if I really want to clean it up. Like I said, it could definitely use a good cleaning, but there's also kind of some other markings on there. And again, replica, you know what I mean? It's Navy Arms Co., Ridgefield, New Jersey. But again, this is actually repurposed or made in Italy. Not repurposed, reproduced. And let's see, black powder only, 44 caliber. I guess it's important to talk about how it was a 44 caliber. But yeah, man, I like how it has the wooden furniture on it. I enjoy that. Nice big brass chunk right here. What a fun little piece of history, and helped me learn some stuff too. Helped me learn about guns and the history of, you know, the Colt 1851 and stuff that I never knew and probably never would have known until I got this right here that kind of forced me into some knowledge. So fun stuff. If you're still watching, hey, maybe you learned something too. Or maybe you're yelling at me through the screen, oh, Spegtacular, how could you have not known about this thing? I didn't know about it. I didn't know. I guess there's an Army version as well, but the Army version is a little different. I think that this little hexagon piece right here, they made into a full like circular barrel. Now, some of the earlier ones too, and the actual legit ones, which are worth a lot of money, if you have a old one from, you know, like that era, the 1851 era, the barrel will actually have this little hexagon all the way down. But I think to reduce probably some of the weight, because it is a heavy son of a gun, reduce the weight and make it a little bit easier to clean up and all that, they thought a rounded barrel would be better. And probably mostly for the weight, because you can imagine that would even add even more weight. And when you're fatigued after you're holding this thing forever, your aim starts to drop a little bit. So anyways, yeah, that's fun. So I got some cool pickups. Hopefully you enjoyed this little video and maybe a little lesson in history too. Just a smidge. I didn't give you the full history lesson, but a little history about, you know, where this came from. And that's cool stuff. Cool stuff. Anyways, I got to go for now. Appreciate you watching. And tell me what you think. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this crazy thing. You think I'm nuts for picking that up at a coin shop where I could have just been picking up more coins for $100? This is cool to me. This is one of those things where I may never find that in a coin shop ever again. I got to go for now, though. Appreciate you watching. Spegtacular is out.